President Cyril Ramaphosa will host the President of Angola, João Manuel Lourenço, at the Union Buildings in Pretoria on Thursday. He'll use the occasion of the state visit to solidify relations between the two countries who share deep historical ties. The two leaders will address a plenary session of a business forum. The forum will take place under the theme South Africa and Angola working together to forge a new era of cooperation and partnerships to increase mutually beneficial trade and investment. Now, this visit comes as South Africa begins its year-long presidency of G20, with Pretoria committing to using the platform to promote trade within the African continent. President Cyril Ramaphosa will also embark on a state visit to Algeria on the 5th to the 7th of December. His visit, at the invitation of Abdelmadjid Tebboune, will see the two heads of state co-chair the 7th session of the South African-Algeria Binational Commission. The president will lead a delegation comprising of ministers, senior officials and business leaders. South Africa and Algeria enjoy political, economic and social relations following the establishment of diplomatic relations in May of 1994. The relations are conducted through the Binational Commission as a structured mechanism that provides for political, economic, social, cultural, scientific and technical cooperation. Let's expand the conversation with Thembisa Fakude, who's director at Africa-Asia Dialogues, joining us for a discussion on the state visits. A very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. We're seeing President Cyril Ramaphosa in his capacity as President of South Africa and also under the presidency of the G20, really honing in on making sure that the relations are strengthened between South Africa and Angola as well as Algeria. We also saw him meeting with the Nigerian President, Bola Tinubu. How should we understand the importance and significance of these relations with South Africa?
Well, it's important visits, particularly with Angola and Algeria. Angola, of course, comes at the after the visit of President Joe Biden of the United States in that country. So one can also argue that this is basically a report back from the Angolans to the big brother South Africa of what happened, because many people do feel that Joe Biden stabbed South Africa, which has been traditionally the first stop for many foreign leaders of significance, particularly the United States. And here you had Joe Biden, who has never visited any country or African country as the President of the United States, preferring to go to Angola and shunning South Africa and not coming to say hello to South Africa, which is seen as the most important democracy and economy in Africa. When it comes to Algeria, of course, Algeria is significant and very important. But again, there has been talks, at least from certain quarters of the ANC. A memorandum was issued, I think, a day or so ago regarding South Africa's strengthening relationship with Morocco, which happens to be competing for attention of South Africa, and South Africa, of course, having continue enjoying relations with Algeria because of the issue of Western Sahara.
Let's perhaps expand a little bit on U.S. President Joe Biden's visit to Angola. We know that it's a country that's key to the U.S.'s strategic interests. We know the U.S. is a master at pivoting and changing its allegiances and focus. What lessons do you think should come for South Africa as Angola and the U.S. now engage in this new era of cooperation?
I think it's important, but it's also important these latest overtures by the United States and President Biden in particular. For some of us who've been observing this, we're meant to drive a point home to South Africa that the United States is not necessarily happy or excited about what the position of South Africa has been taken. But having said that, of course, we see South Africa strengthening a relationship with Angola, and Angola coming to South Africa, mainly to report back on what has happened. And I'm sure there were certain things that were whispered to the Angolans to be relayed to South Africa, and I think that's what mainly is happening, hence this recent visit.
As Ramaphosa undertakes that visit to Algeria, we know that South Africa and Algeria enjoy strong political, economic and social relations since 1994. What opportunity does this visit afford the leaders when it comes to the respective countries?
Well, I think Algeria is important because Algeria is one of the largest energy producers and suppliers, and the relationship between Algeria and South Africa is very strong. It's strong at the AU level, where they continue to lobby for similar political positions that they've since taken. Their position on Israel, for example, is quite strong. They are the two main countries that seek to continue isolating Israel and pushing other African countries to follow suit. But also they are united and close when it comes to matters of the politics of Western Sahara and Polisario organization in that part of the world, which has, to a very large extent, isolated Morocco, which we see now also flexing its muscle in South Africa with, again, as I've said earlier, many South Africans, including some of the ANC branches, calling for a rapprochement between South Africa and Morocco, because Morocco is also very important in terms of its economics and politics when it comes to South Africa. So whilst this is very important, and again, it sends a strong message of South Africa continues to strengthen relationships with the Algerians, you are having a lot of murmurings from the ANC and others in South Africa who are calling for a renewed and improved relationship between South Africa and Morocco.
We saw Ramaphosa also meeting with Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, and there was a lot of reaction from South Africans to the president's recent announcement of relaxing visa rules for Nigerians. South Africans have reacted, accusing the government of compromising national safety. What is your perspective? What is your understanding of that?
Well, at the moment, very few countries in the world are relaxing the entry requirements or conditions for Nigerians. I'm in the Middle East at the moment, and the countries in the Middle East, particularly United Arab Emirates and Qatar, continue to dig in their heels against relaxing those restrictions for many reasons. And I think the onus is now on the Nigerians to try and improve their situation and general accusations, whether those are true or false. But South Africa, I don't think at the moment can really afford to even think of doing something like that, given the public opinion, particularly in South Africa, of Nigerians, unfortunately, again, whether that's true or false, but there is a prevailing or public opinion that certain Nigerians who come to South Africa do engage in certain illicit activities. Yeah,
very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Thembisa Fakude, there, Director at Africa-Asia Dialogues, joining us for a discussion as President Cyril Ramaphosa embarks on state visits to Algeria and Angola.